How's it going, everybody? Rob here, back with another video, and, well, we're going to be doing another reaction. This time, focusing on a video from the Internet Anarchist, and this is when YouTubers try to expose Penguinz0. Oh boy. Now, I know that with Penguinz0, he's done reactionary content as well as speaking his mind about various topics, and there's been certain individuals, I know for a fact that there's been individuals like a certain vegan that has tried to claim foul play from Penguinz0. But so far, I mean, in terms of like content, in terms of like personality, I would be half-heartedly open to say that sometimes you kind of feel like a genuine like I don't want to say just like caring, but maybe like empathy. No, I think that's not the word, but a sort of like, I'm trying to think of the best word. Like he doesn't seem like, in terms of his concerns, like if he brings something up, he doesn't seem fake compared to some of the other people. Or if anything, he doesn't seem very radical, I should say. There we go. I think that's probably better. But anyways, let's go ahead and look right into this.
During his many years on YouTube, Penguinz0, aka Charlie, has crafted and maintained an extremely positive reputation for himself. But that doesn't mean there weren't a few controversies along the way. After all, controversial situations are on par for the course on YouTube. However, the main difference between Charlie and many other creators is that those who try to expose him often have the tables turned on them in the worst possible ways, sometimes even completely ruining their careers. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be looking into the YouTubers that attempted to expose Moist Critical, aka Charlie, starting with a creator who was almost right about Charlie, but let things get too heated before he could prove his point.
Okay.
On the 7th of February 2022, a well-known GTA speedrunner, Dark Viper AU, shared a 14-page document on Twitter that claimed reactors negatively impacted the online creator ecosystem.
If I could say something, like, I'm pausing right now so I can say my piece. I'm sure it's going to be brought up, but I know the usual argument that reactionary content takes away from other people. In some sense, I'm going to say in terms of certain individuals, yes, it does. In terms of fair, I hate to like pull the fair use card. But when you have individuals like myself that try their best to periodically go through a video and at times pause, give their thoughts and so on, and basically adding something new to what you guys are saying, then it becomes fair use and becomes its own piece of medium. But like I said, there are certain individuals, XQC, any others, I'm sorry, Cyberwolf, sorry, that basically will take content, not give any feedback, not give anything like noteworthy of value said in the content, or even at times with certain individuals proceed to, as the video's playing, just walk the fuck off camera and do something for like 5 minutes, not really giving any much like, and I will say this too, like, people who do that, who go out of their way to basically just put on a video and then take off, are fucking lazy. And I love the fact that, you know, certain individuals of the reactionary live action community want to claim, oh, we work so fucking hard. Do you guys sit on your fucking asses throughout the live stream? And at times, you don't even do that. So, there you go.
Ecosystem. Reading, all reactors are bad people. Collectively, they have stolen millions of dollars from actual creators, and have stopped countless thousands from having a career. In the document, he referenced specific channels, like XQC, Hassan,
Hassan,
and Moist Critical.
I don't know. Okay, Pokimane, yes. XQC, Hassan, Pokimane, Sniper Wolf, those are examples of individuals that, again, will basically steal content, not give any intelligent feedback, and will just sit on their asses and do absolutely nothing. Moist Critical, I've seen for quite a few of his videos, he's very reactionary. As far as I could tell. And in terms of like content that he's discussing, he gives his own feedback. Whereas you have like people like HQC who just sort of like, oh bro, like, dude, that's not fucking reactionary shit, dude. That isn't. There's more to say than just saying, oh bro. I'm sorry, like, that guy kind of, he irritates me a little bit. I hate to say it, but it's like, I don't understand why anybody would consider like what he says as legitimate in terms of debates and stuff. But either way, that's a topic for another day.
As an exploiter class that profited off the labor of other channels, and included several examples of how they draw impressions and views away from smaller creators.
Oh.
While Dark Viper made numerous solid arguments in his video, others would take issue with the aggressive way he conveyed some of his points.
Okay, I appreciate what you're saying, but insinuating that anybody who makes your definition of reaction content would essay someone if given the chance is quite a large leap in logic. I see what you're going for, but the two are quite drastically different. Nice people, but be a bit nicer if you were making millions of dollars reposting other people's hard work for massive profits. If you meet a reactor at a party, I suggest covering your glass. Or something.
With replies reading, I appreciate what you're saying, but insinuating that anybody who makes your definition of reaction content would actually assault someone if given the chance is quite a large leap in logic, to which Dark Viper...
Okay, hold on. I want to read that. Okay. React at a party, I suggest covering your glass or outright telling them you don't want them to fuck you because they seem keen to take a person's silence as consent. Yeah, no, that's it. The two are totally different things, dude. And a lot of time, by the way, I want to say this too, because the same argument can be said when people do reviews and use like the movies or video games that they discuss. Technically speaking, in terms of movies and video games, it's made by the company that the copyright is basically from the owners or the people that made it. So it's like, in a sense, with reactionary content or reviews, you don't need the basic, like, hey, can I do this? Can I? You don't need a response of from the other party of, hey, can I do something on your video or your content? You normally don't need to. And even going further than that, it's like, I don't know what I don't see how, like, that is such a really piss poor example, or at least try to, like, as a comparison. Whereas in terms of, you know, a situation where you're basically having relations with an individual, okay, yes, in terms of, like, you know, certain actions, you do need consent. But as in terms of reacting to a person's video, doing a review on a movie or a video game or TV show, etc., you don't need the approval of the companies or people that make them. That is such a backwards way to look at it. And normally, you'd think that sort of like argument would be like seen in like, oh my gosh, from from the crazy freaking the crazy people on the side of like vegans and shit like that. Just because you eat meat does it like in their eyes you automatically are a killer because you ate the meat. You weren't the one that killed the animal, but in the end you're basically just as guilty for the person that butchered the animal. Fuck off.
Piper replied stating, "People who live their lives exploiting others, their labor or careers in their own lust for money or power are the very sort of people who would abuse someone." It was clear that Dark Viper would...
Okay. Hold on, can I go back to that statement? I want to reread it. Okay. People who live their lives exploiting others, their labor or careers, and their own lust for money and power are the very sort of people who would essay. So, by that logic, would that imply that regular content creators that basically, obtain a mass fan base that have people that follow them, doesn't that count as, in some sense, doesn't that count as exploiting people? Because in a way, like, there are times where the individual, like, let's say they get big enough, hey, it's like, you want to support my channel, then buy this merch. You want to support my channel, then buy this cup. It's like, dude, it's like, how is that an argument? And like, try to claim that, certain channels are again still like trying to claim that channels will that do reaction content are just as bad as people who commit essays. It's freaking it's backwards thinking. It blows my mind. Just literally blows my mind that you would actually think that.
Money or power are the very sort of people who would abuse someone. It was clear that Dark Viper was deeply dissatisfied with the presence of reaction channels in the online world, and wanted others to see the negative impact he thought they had on smaller creators. However, one of the creators he directly referenced would make their own thoughts on the situation known. By the 9th of February 2022, Charlie would respond to Dark Viper's document with a video titled, "Are React Streamers Bad People?"
Streamer named Dark Viper AU posted a 14-page document all about how evil React content is. Basically, is comparing React content creators to rapists.
Charlie spent the majority of the video countering the document by bringing up Dark Viper's past as a reactor, pointing out that reactions didn't inherently steal impressions from other videos, and stating that they could even have a positive impact on a given channel.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna say this. If you guys see the format for my videos, right? If I'm doing a reaction video, especially if I'm doing a reaction video, normally if you guys look at the bottom right of the video, you see the channel name of what I'm reacting to and the video. So in the end, throughout the entire video, that channel is getting promoted. So it's not like I'm like just flat, like, again, a perfect example of somebody stealing content is what was going on with SSS Sniper Wolf, where she would do these TikTok Vine videos. And although like it's very clear that she isn't really reacting to it, she takes a bunch of content, removes any form of like acknowledgement that it was made by somebody else, reacts to it, or again pretends to react to it, and then doesn't reference the original creators of each video that she reacted to. That's an example of somebody stealing content. Whereas other people like myself and many others who are also in between giving their own opinions create not only are reacting, but creating new content for our viewers. Just like what Charlie's doing.
However, off the top of my head, I can think of multiple examples in times where React content has genuinely helped smaller creators, like blow up their channel. My channel, I'm the perfect example of it. My channel literally got kickstarted because of Ray William Johnson reacting to my QWOP video in 2010. I can truly understand when somebody doesn't like when someone reacts to their content. I get it. It's not like I'm fucking delusional. I understand it.
However, Charlie also acknowledged the shortcomings in his own reaction videos and streams.
I understand the stigma around React content, and I've always understood it. When I react to something, I'm constantly trying to either pause it and add something to it or interject comedy into it. I treat React content like Mystery Science Theater. Now, of course, not every...
I think that's like a perfect way to like kind of think about it. Is if you're going to react to it, give your thoughts and opinions. At times, pause. I know certain people hate that. Like I've had comments like, I think I remember having a comment where person's like, "Why are you pausing?" As far as I can remember, I don't. It's been a while, but I was watching. Actually, one thing too is I was watching. A reaction from Kagi from Kagi Films, and he was doing reactions on the Devil Artemis videos, and although he kind of joked about it, I think this is something that has been said a lot, where people were complaining about him pausing, and his response was, "This is how I react." I think this, like, in terms of, like, how Charlie said it, where it's, like, Mystery Science Theater, that is the perfect example of how people should react. Again, you have your individuals that are the bad bunch, that basically will react to content, not giving any feedback.
Every time is going to be a hit, which is why you'll find plenty of videos where I'm reacting to something like The Downfall of Quibi, which comes from a great channel that I really like to watch, and I just got too engrossed in their storytelling and the way they presented it that I didn't add anything to it. So I ended up just kind of watching it with my community.
From Charlie's perspective, the discussion around the impact of reaction content wasn't black and white, with several nuances that applied in different situations. Unfortunately, Dark Viper AU didn't want to see things that way, as his response video sparked a back and forth between the two creators. Dark Viper would claim that Charlie was misrepresenting his arguments, and that he did not add enough transformative content in his reactions.
I'm kind of wondering if this guy's kind of set in his ways, where he made his point, Charlie made his, and he doesn't like the fact that Charlie actually kind of talked back to him. But we'll see.
I don't know what he's responding to here, but I did write a 14-page script explaining why I don't like reactors and I think they're bad people. Whatever he's looking at here isn't that, because basically nothing of what he talks about in this video do I talk about in that script.
I'm kind of wondering if for the initial video, if he doesn't even go into any detail or like go through his paper saying like, you know, what he got wrong.
Watched it would understand all the things that Charlie didn't understand when he might have read the script. I'm not 100% sure.
Even going as far to claim that Charlie was trying to use his large audience and reach to reframe the argument in his favor.
Moist Critical knows that his video is going to reach far more people than will ever actually read that document. He also knows that my video refuting him will also reach one fraction of a percent of people who will watch his video. This is the power that large content creators have to shape a narrative, regardless of how false.
While Dark Viper missed the mark when he claimed Charlie was intentionally weaponizing his large platform, he was correct about his points being misrepresented.
I took a bit of an L+ ratio here. There was a lot of things that I got wrong. But of course, I get things wrong. Everybody does. And I'm not afraid to admit it or die on a hill that is just outright incorrect. And Dark Viper points out things that I got wrong, for sure. Dark Viper is a creator that I liked and respected. What the fuck would I gain from misrepresenting him? Someone that I actively like. It'd make no fucking sense.
In addition to acknowledging his mistakes when handling the situation, Charlie would make some alterations to the reaction content that he creates.
Which is why with this newfound understanding of this perspective, I will no longer be watching full YouTube videos on stream. I'd rather watch it, see if it's something I have anything to add to, and then turn it into perhaps a full video response, which is my normal content.
While
there you go. I mean, it goes to show that, you know, in terms of him, if he sees an issue, he does his best to change it, like to correct himself. I've witnessed, I mean, in terms of like content and in terms of content creators, I've witnessed several people that create a certain piece of content, and despite people telling them that what they're doing may be incorrect, immoral, depending on how you look at it, and depending on the state or country, possibly illegal, certain individuals would go out of their way to stay the course and not change a thing. Which is unfortunate, because some of them unfortunately get the boot later on.
Were many things they disagreed on, Charlie and Dark Viper would eventually settle the beef with a 2-hour-long debate, and later a private conversation that gave them the opportunity to see eye to eye on the issue, with Dark Viper clarifying that the document was about reactors doing bad things, and not inherently being bad people. By the 25th of February 2022, the pair would bury the hatchet and collaborate on a GTA 5 guessing video.
Hello and welcome to another episode of GTA Guesser Versus with my special guest, Moist Critical.
Hey, I'm hoping I don't embarrass myself too badly. I was practicing for the last hour and a half, so I'm at least feeling kind of confident.
However, the outcome of their discourse would cascade in 2023, as Charlie would announce a change in his content strategy that prioritizes creative fulfillment over ad revenue.
No matter what I say in this video here, there's tons of people that have already made their minds up about me and my motivations behind content. A lot of people believe that it's truly money driven, and an example they use is React content.
Okay.
Now, for a couple of years, I did React content. That content, React content, is the most lucrative, most low effort content you could ever make.
It kind of is. I mean, I myself, I do it because I enjoy it. I mean, you guys can look at the channel. It's not getting a lot of views compared to a lot of other people, and that's fine. I do it because, you know, I like, in a sense, I like to give my thoughts sometimes on certain topics or certain videos, etc. At this point, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because I enjoy it.
Stopped doing React streams and React content about a year ago now, but no matter what, I've always got the Orochimaru curse mark on my body where I'm labeled a React streamer.
Oh,
Charlie
gosh.
also explained why he created React content in the first place.
Now, a lot of people say the reason I ever did React content in the first place was because of the money. I only ever reacted to videos because it was fun to make jokes with the community about it and just kind of get silly with the content together.
As well as why he would no longer be making that style of content.
It came at a cost to the creators, which I never wanted to do, and I never realized it did. So after watching plenty of videos from like Dark Viper as well as other content creators that have covered React content for a long time, I learned that it is not a good practice to engage in, so I stopped doing it entirely.
With the exception of news broadcasts and the occasional game trailer, Charlie no longer had interest in React content, as he'd see just how detrimental it was to the YouTube community.
I know there's plenty of fringe cases you can point to where someone whose content gets reacted to blows up, but that's still not the norm, and it's also still not really an acceptable fair transaction where you just kind of have to cross your fingers and pray that the person who reacts to your video somehow has an audience that will also translate to you. Like, that doesn't happen very often.
While Dark Viper's encounter with Charlie ended up being a positive one, the same couldn't be said for Synthetic Man, a YouTuber who decided it would be a good idea to go after Charlie's private life. On the 19th...
Okay, quick fade in, because honestly, by the way, we're already 8 minutes in. I'm at like in 20 minutes in my video. If this is where I think it's gonna go, where the dude starts attacking, you know, family, then that's not gonna be good. That is not good and not tolerable. And for some reason, my thing is not on. Let's go ahead and, there we go. Okay, let's continue, shall we?
Of April 2024, during an episode of the official podcast, Charlie made an offhanded comment about Synthetic Man's coverage of the new Fallout series and joked about his extreme takes.
There's only one guy that's sticking to his guns about the show is just woke propaganda, it's garbage, and it's the classic.
Can I just say, I'm gonna just turn my camera a little bit. There we go. One thing I'm gonna say about the Fallout series, if we're talking about the Amazon Prime Fallout series, I mean, honestly, it has its moments of it being really. It's. I mean, I personally enjoyed it. Like I can't understand like I'm trying to understand like what they mean by it being like woke propaganda. I mean, in a sense, in terms of like the story itself, where you have people basically questioning each other for being communist and being kind of an emotionally charged time in like war, at least towards like the flashbacks, as well as maybe like towards during the present day setting of the show. Like I'm trying to understand that. Unless they're implying because there was a female character, which all I'm gonna say is I know it's probably it might be the worst like example, but it's more likely I feel like it's the best one is the fact that in terms of Fallout, you could play as a man or a woman in that game. It's an RPG. So you could play however you want to as well. As whatever you want to. So, there you go.
Synthetic man, and I decided to watch what he said about Fallout because I was curious, and one of the first things he mentions is propaganda about race mixing.
You'd think that a joke like that would be met with a similarly jovial response, but that was far from how Synthetic Man reacted. By the 21st of April 2024, a viewer would inform Synthetic Man of Charlie's comment, and he would respond in the worst way imaginable.
I can't imagine. Let's see what this is. I bet you it is not a responsible way of doing it.
Critical called me out? You gotta be fucking kidding me. This is the biggest fucking shill campaign ever of all time. Like, Amazon's gotta be paying these fucks.
Synthetic Man would...
Oh, you gotta love that. Somebody has a different opinion than me, so it's only because they're getting paid. Get a freaking life, man. Seriously. I mean, look. I mean, I'll say this. It'd be cool to get some of the revenue that some of these people get. But they're not going to tell me how to behave or who to react to or so on. I do this because I find it entertaining. And to a degree, I like to speak my mind. And just because you have notoriety, just because you make money, does not make people. It should not make people assume that you are only doing it for the sake of money.
Go on to search for something to use against Charlie and call him a woke sellout along with a slew of other insults when he didn't find what he was looking for.
By the way, is he watching somebody? I was about to ask if he was playing the game, but it's apparently he's watching a video. Gaming as a professionalist. Oh boy. And it's the example, one of the examples is Final Fantasy X. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It's just, oh my gosh, that game. I still haven't finished it yet, and I know I'm gonna hurt trying to play it.
Talking about old reviews, people say I clickbait. This is like way worse than shit I do. Yeah, this is a 26-minute clip of him rambling about fucking movie reviews.
I mean, that's his content. He's allowed to do that. He's allowed to talk about movie reviews. And you're just, by the looks of it, you're just skimming through, you're not even watching the video. I'm sure he has actually something that he probably wants to say about the movie reviews.
And he says, I'm ashamed of my past self. Critical is the biggest sellout on this fucking platform. His word is worth nothing.
As extreme as his statements were, Synthetic Man wouldn't stop at just insulting Charlie, and decided to bring his personal life into it.
Greed ruined these YouTubers one day ago. Coming from him, you fucking scum. I'm glad this man got cheated on. His girlfriend got tired of his tiny penis and left.
Can I just say, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I mean, I don't have a lot of viewers. That's fine. But at times I do speak my mind. And I'm gonna say this. When you have an individual that just goes for to attack the person instead of actually giving some real fucking criticism, then it goes to show that they have nothing relevant to say. Like, if they can't really come up with something that is actually intelligent or adds on to the conversation and just goes for, you know, offending the person or, you know, taking pot shots at personal life, then again, you should have nothing relevant to say. Or should not be heard, so to speak. Actually, no, I take that back. You should be heard. That way people can look at you and be like, oh my gosh, this guy's a fucking fool. Why am I watching this guy?
By this point, Synthetic Man hadn't even watched the clip of Charlie talking about him, but he was already throwing around harsh comments with zero justification. But when he did watch the clip, Synthetic Man's behavior only got more aggressive.
On here.
Oh, fun.
Probably like 20 million subscribers are shitting on a guy with 130,000. This is fucking pathetic that they feel the need to shit talk my video. I mean, we all knew.
I mean, I'm shit talking you. I mean, it doesn't matter how many subscribers. If you're gonna be a shitbag, you're gonna be a shitbag, and people could call you out for it.
Knew how fucked Critical became. He's the biggest sellout, legitimately the biggest sellout on this platform.
Synthetic Man felt it was necessary to attack Charlie because he was sharing an opinion he didn't agree with. But unbeknownst to Synthetic Man, the entire internet would take notice and give a far more critical opinion of his content. In the weeks that followed, Synthetic Man's video on the Fallout series would receive
Synthetic Man. Amazon's Fallout is a glorified humiliation ritual. And he got 17k dislikes. Okay. I mean, like I said, to each his own. Me personally, I actually kind of enjoyed it. It has its moments where it is, you know, in terms of the world, what we experience, what we see, characters, a lot of it is fun. There's comedy, which in a sense, with a lot of the scenarios that you come across in Fallout, is actually fucking hilarious, despite it being in a post-nuclear apocalypse. I mean, hell, I mean, when I'm playing Fallout 76, and I'm playing by myself, I mean, it's always, I have to laugh at myself when I freaking get my teeth kicked in when I'm playing that game. I mean, at one in a recent video, I was playing the Devil's Blood storyline, where I'm basically helping a mafia family, and in order to get this, in order to get the daughter off a particular chem, I basically have to hunt down their equivalent of the Jersey Devil. You know, the folklore monster. I have to hunt that down, extract some of its blood to make an antidote. And it was a lot of fun. It's stupid, because for some reason the mafia is also involved, but at the same time, it's fun.
Receive over 17,000 dislikes, and a comment section that was equally as negative, with comments reading, "Some people will really say shit like this and swear they aren't racist. Do you stay in your basement out of fear of minorities or sunlight?" As well as, "My guy really can't fathom the fact that people organically disagree with him." Viewers wouldn't be the only ones who criticized Synthetic Man for his immature antics, as his story made rounds in the commentary space as well.
You can't be out here criticizing everything, and the second someone doesn't agree with you, you start freaking out. You start throwing a fit.
Who is this? Which channel was this? I'm kind of curious.
Because, oh my god, Amazon definitely paid Charlie $100 billion to disagree with me and talk about me on his podcast.
Being unable to handle criticism was something Synthetic Man shared with Sneeko, another YouTuber who tried
Oh gosh. Did this guy get into trouble? I can't remember.
and failed to expose Charlie. The only difference between them was that Synthetic Man got to avoid Charlie's direct wrath, and Sneeko didn't. Before his channel's termination, Sneeko's career on YouTube saw him create several thought-provoking documentaries and engage in interesting street interviews with random strangers. While Sneeko would receive a ban that forced him to move to other video sharing platforms, he still kept tabs on what was happening on YouTube. So when Charlie made fun of his friends Fresh and Fit for posing as alpha males, Sneeko
Fresh and Fit. Isn't that... Hold on, I will look something up. I kind of want to see... I want to quickly see, Fresh and Fit. I want to quickly look up to see when this channel came about. Okay, about tab. They came so they've been around since February 5th, 2020. And let's look up the Whatever podcast, because I'm kind of wondering. Okay, so just to kind of get an idea, let me look at this. Okay. So I kind of, if this person's going to attack Charlie for taking content, I kind of find it hilarious, considering, like, as a really funny comparison, by the looks of the Fresh and Fit podcast, they take a bunch of women that are, as far as I can tell, individuals who are from, or at least I would, if it's like the same format as Whatever, people from OnlyFans and other websites in that spectrum to debate certain topics. And I would have to, if Sneeko and his company are trying to claim that Charlie is, stealing content, I kind of find it hilarious that their format is very similar to the Whatever podcast, considering that the Whatever podcast came out on September 30th, 2005. Meaning that Fresh and Fit may or may not have stolen the format of the Whatever podcast. But anyway.
couldn't help but respond.
This is his girl. So there you go. I mean, I told you, like, I could hear it in your voice. The fact that someone doesn't have to abide by those rules. Someone could go and f*** a lot of bitches. That it's so foreign to a lot of people's ideas, because when you get brainwashed, when you get told that monogamy is the answer and you need to go and be married and just settle down with some girl, when you hear other people talking about stories like this, you're like, there's no way it's true, you're a virgin.
That statement would end up doing more damage to Sneeko's career than he could have ever imagined.
So wait, hold on. I'm gonna go back to that. What's he trying to say?
Forced him to move to other video sharing platforms, he still kept
Hold
tabs
on.
on what was happening on YouTube. So when Charlie made fun of his friends Fresh and Fit for posing as alpha males, Sneeko...
Oh, okay. He made fun of him for posing it. Okay.
couldn't help but respond.
This is his girl. So there you go. I mean, I told you, like, I could hear it in your voice. The fact that someone doesn't have to abide by those rules. Someone could go and f*** a lot of bitches. that it's so foreign to a lot of people's ideas, because when you get brainwashed, when you get told that monogamy is the answer and you need to go and be married and just settle down with some girl.
Where do I even begin with that? Yeah, because monogamy, that's the practice or state of being married to one person at a time. I mean, isn't like I'm trying to I'm trying to find the best way to talk about that, because I'm gonna say this, to each his own. I mean, me personally, I like the only person that makes me happy is my wife. Ultimately, like, there's no other woman besides my wife. I love her. She is, you know, my shining star and everything. She's basically my other half, so to speak. And for the past year, in terms of a lot of things, she's gotten me through a lot. If Charlie is comfortable with just having one person in his life, then there's no problem with that. I don't understand why people think that, oh, you need to go sleep around. Like, no. Like, what's the point of just sleeping around? I mean, if you're just sleeping, it just feels empty, if you ask me. If I were to give my personal opinion, like, just going and just having sex with a woman every night, it makes the act feel empty. Like, there's nothing to it. That you're just getting your rocks off just for the hell of it. And I think, and if I may, again, giving my own personal opinion, I just feel like something like that, where you're just having sex and there's no, like, connection, you're, in a sense, I would say, in a sense, you're hollow. Because there's nothing to it, to you.
When you hear other people talking about stories like this, you're like, there's no way it's true. You're a virgin.
That statement would end up doing more damage to Sneako's career than he could have ever imagined, as Charlie didn't hold back with his response.
What the fuck are you even talking about? What does this have to do with anything? What does bringing up a picture of me and my girlfriend have anything to do with anything that has happened? And where is monogamy even coming from? Like, none of this...
Exactly. It's like, what's the point? I mean, if this was all about reaction, like, doing, like, a reaction to another person's, like, shit, like, what's the... Why... It's like, why bring up another person's relationship? Like, what is the point of that?
This had anything to do with the video itself of me joking about a stupid fucking story that this guy told.
From criticizing Sneako for his defense of
Oh my
the
gosh.
Netflix movie Cute.
Okay, no, sorry. And then on top of that, yeah, joking about it, the guys, you know, and their alpha male status.
These to bringing up his
Can I just say something about this? I only know from some of the stories about this movie, and some of the things, like some of the subtext of the film. And for those who thought to greenlight this, rotten hell. Like, seriously.
shameful cock past. Charlie.
I know that's bad to say, but honestly, looking like again, hearing from secondhand what other people experienced from that film, and reading some of the reports on it, and listening to some of the reports, Yeah, no, I don't understand how that was greenlit, like, at all. It's fucked up.
Was pulling out all of the stops to put Sneeko in his place. For now, Charlie's response video resulted in the entire internet clowning on Sneeko for being a soy boy cuck. However, Sneeko wasn't going to take this lying down, as he escalated the feud to the point of threatening actual violence.
Oh my gosh.
The day after I posted my response, he went on stream and had a huge unhinged tantrum and meltdown about the whole thing, and then he sent some of his viewers over. So
I gotta ask, is this on Twitch or YouTube? Because if it's on YouTube, I mean, shit like that you should be banned for. Like, no joke. If you're going around brandishing a freaking weapon, you know, and threatening to, you know, to actually, technically speaking, that would, I would say that's almost like a criminal offense, if you ask me. If that's what it feels like. And you should not be platformed if you're going around thinking you're going to just go ahead and, you know, act like you're going to threaten somebody with a fucking gun on stream. And I want to say this too, because let's be honest here. A lot of people who follow us as content creators are, some of them don't know what to do or what's right or wrong. And they see this and then they act, thinking, okay, this behavior's okay. I mean, in the past, we've had a variety of different content creators that act poorly on the channel or on the freaking website, that do things that are really despicable. And you have people thinking, oh, I'm going to repeat this because this looks like fun. It's going to get me views. When in reality, it just goes to show how much of a just not a great person you are.
So I was joking with them, saying like, "Oh, you guys must have just stopped the cuties watch party over."
What is
there
this
at Sneaker
dance?
Stream,
Come
right?
on.
Welcome, cucks.
What is this dance? I mean, I know I'm not a dancer, but come on. What is this dance?
That kind of shit. So he started dancing around with the gun and threatening to come shoot me.
You wanna watch my clips? Watch my clip.
That's a fucking mag. It's not a clip. It's a... You know, I don't own a gun. That's a fucking mag. I know what a mag is.
You want me to watch your clips? Watch my clips.
To which Charlie would embarrass him even further with this lesson on gun anatomy.
You absolute buffoon. What you have there is not clips. These are mags.
There you go. Yeah, it's a fucking mag. It's not a clip.
They're mags, not clips, you absolute fucking dummy. The same way that this is also a mag.
Can I just ask, where did he pull that gun out? Like, did he just have it on the side for this video? And is that like an actual, like, rifle? Hot damn!
They're all mags. Stop saying clips, you look fucking stupid here.
Once again, Charlie had bruised Sneako's overinflated ego, but that didn't stop him from claiming that he would confront Charlie directly if...
Okay, I'm gonna have a really bad faith type of, like, opinion. And I think some people will somewhat agree with me. And it's that, you know, individuals who, like, certain individuals that amass fame should not amass fame, because at first, you know, people are doing it just because they want to make content. They want to entertain people. But eventually, when they get too big for themselves, when they start making money, then a sort of ego starts to appear. They start doing things that are questionable. They start doing things that make them look and seem like very pretentious fucking douchebags. And at one point, they start thinking that, oh, I can't be touched because I got some notoriety. Only for, you know, at certain times, them getting called out for being stupid. Case in point being one of the biggest flops being Onision. I know I use him as a punching bag, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, you guys, I'm not wrong. You had a guy who had the potential, and I'm being generous when I say this. Had the potential to become a good content creator, but with a lot of the content that he created, he made bad videos where he was giving advice that either he shouldn't be making or was bad advice to begin with. There were videos of him rating women's bodies, not just women, but girls, young girls. In fact, at one point, one of the families going out of their way to contact him and tell him to please take down the video. And situations with exes that became public information that should have been private. I mean, in a sense, it's a good thing they weren't private, because then it kind of painted the picture of, as I got hiccups, of who he is. Long story short, fame and notoriety sometimes is the killer of creativity. I think that's what I'm going to say. Is at times fame and notoriety is the killer of creativity.
If they ever met in person.
So let me ask you, if you saw him walking down the street, what are you doing?
I would walk up to him and I would say the same stuff that you said in your videos. I would look him dead in the eye and say all that stuff you said in your videos, say it to my face right now. Does anyone in the chat think that he would say any of this face to face, one on one? If I'm looking at point,
dude, I bet you he probably would, man. If something tells me, I bet he would. And this asshole would probably just sucker punch him for, repeating the same thing he said.
he's critical. Who looks like a fentanyl homeless dude, who looks like he stands at a playground.
Okay, I gotta repeat what I said earlier. If you go out of your way to attack the person with no relevant thing to say, then you have no reason to speak. Or nothing to stand on. It just goes full circle. They don't like what he has to say, so they proceed to try to take pot shots.
Looking at first, he looks like he's homeless.
Sneeko tried to defend himself by attacking Charlie's image by claiming he was promoting the Antichrist.
That dude actively still does that. He just dropped a music video of upside down crosses, promoting Antichrist with dildos throwing at each other's face, promoting drugs, promoting all the...
I'm sorry. Hold on. Is this the same guy that was attacking Charlie earlier on about his relationship status? That he wasn't, fucking women left and right? I'm sorry, but isn't, in terms of, let's say if we were to go by the Catholic doctrine, isn't lust one of the deadly sins? And is, again, following Catholic doctrine, lust is an automatic for going to hell? So, in a sense, this guy, trying to play the Christ card, you're going to hell, dude.
Degeneracy. This is just disgusting. Everybody, all these soy boys, continue to talk about my past and not talk about the present.
And calling him a PDF file.
Who looks more like a pedophile? Who would you rather not bring around your children? That dude with the...
I mean, between Charlie and this fuckwit, who likes to brandish weapons because he doesn't like what people say, I'd go for the other guy. And mostly because I would be very confident that he wasn't a pedophile. And in fact, I wouldn't want to listen to anything that this fuckwit wants to say. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm heated. I'm cursing a little bit. I'm sorry.
Beard and the fentanyl hair, looking like he sleeps under a...
Oh, come off it, dude. Oh, come on. Just because he has long hair. Seriously? Seriously. I mean, dude, I got freaking long hair. And ironically, in this light, I look like a fucking ginger. So, what? Do I have no soul? Like, are we gonna go by the basic, the usual, like, tagline, gingers have no soul? I mean, I've already, somebody in the past has already tried to pull that. If you've been with our channel, you already know who it was. But, it's like, dude. That's like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's like going out of your way to saying if you have dreadlocks or a certain hairstyle, then you're into pot. That's a fucking dumb thing to say. It really is. All because, yeah, and this all stems from them not liking what Charlie said to them. These smug assholes didn't like what Charlie had to say, so they're trying to... all they could do is fucking take pot shots. That's all they could do.
Bridge or me? Who looks like a file?
Unfortunately for Sneeko, it wouldn't take more than one comment from Charlie to dismantle his entire argument.
All that
Here we
guy
go.
does is have these fucking tantrums and repeat the same 4 things over and over and over and over and
Yeah.
over again. That would be the biggest headache in the world. I've listened to everything he's said recently. It's the same thing every single time.
As you'd expect, Sneeko would again attempt to resort to violence to settle the feud with a tweet that read, "Lubo ducked the fight and debate lol. Commentary channels fence it so they never get cancelled and rely on drama for AdSense dollars."
Lubo ducked. I think at this, I'm gonna say this. I don't think he ducked. He just didn't have anything that he needed to, defend. I mean, at this point, Charlie said his piece. You guys didn't like that. You're throwing fucking tantrums, and you're making yourselves look like fools. That's basically it.
Ironically, Sneeko was the only one making himself more of a laughingstock by
Yeah.
sharing these DMs, as Charlie was already mocking him by stating, "Hey man, can you please calm down with these meltdowns for like another week? I'm doing another merch drop and would love to use you for those." By now, Sneeko had already lost what little respect and credibility he had in the online community, but that didn't prevent him from making one last-ditch effort to salvage his reputation.
Oh,
On the
God.
30th of March 2023,
What'd he do?
Sneeko uploaded a video to Rumble titled "I Love the New Sneeko," which was meant to highlight the positive changes in his career and try to fixate on the negative side of Charlie's.
What does Moist Critical stand for?
Oh my gosh. And he's on Rumble too. At one point I actually did want to join Rumble, but I've noticed that a lot of dirtbags are friggin', attending or taking part in Rumble. At this point, it's not about free speech. It's about people that want to fucking do what they want and with no repercussions.
What does he believe in? Do you know? I don't. I've watched him for years. I cannot tell you what he believes. How have you reached a point on the internet where you could have 10 million subscribers as a commentary channel and have no basis of commentary?
I would say that's a statement, but I mean, I've watched a few of his videos, and I gotta say, he's well spoken in a lot of things. I mean, sure, he makes fun of shit. I mean, he made fun of you guys, but at the same time, I mean, he says his points clear and precise, whereas you guys, again, you have moments where people disagree with you, in a sense, kind of make fun of you, and then you proceed to throw tantrums or try to make threats of violence with firearms.
Fortunately, Wood concede on some of his wrongdoings and put an end to the feud by apologizing to Charlie.
I'm officially retiring the soy boy image. I forgive everybody who advocated for my cancellation or made documentaries about me, and I'm ditching my attacking style of streaming. And I apologize to Moist Critical for showing a picture on stream of you and your girlfriend. That was not very Christ-like. I'm sorry.
Snicker recognizing his mistakes and moving past them was the best thing he could have done for his career. Sadly, not everyone can do that, as creators like Penguinz0 couldn't fathom.
Oh god, Penguinz0. Oh, the one guy that ends up ruining friendships.
That they were in the wrong. Penguinz0, aka Richard Burgers, is a creator who built his brand on two things: being a vegan and hating anyone who wasn't. From making proactive videos about enjoying the suffering of meat eaters.
I don't see why I shouldn't make a joke about his suffering and death. So who would like a haha, you're gonna die of cancer t-shirt?
I'm gonna go ahead and play this.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, that's really fucked up, man. I mean, I would have to guess. I mean, again, I'm not a psychiatrist or a counselor, or, you know, I don't, but all I'm gonna say is, with how he acts towards people that are dying of cancer, as well as, you know, some of the other things that he does, you have to assume that this guy is a sociopath. Like, he has no emotion for when people die or are dying. And in a sense, he doesn't, like, care for anybody's issues other than his own.
To almost uploading a video of his grandfather having a heart attack.
There we go.
I was planning on showing you guys footage of my grandfather actually having the heart attack.
I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip of Adam Sandler.
What an asshole!
And there we go. I think that basically is paraphrasing, you know, how I feel about this guy. Who in their fucking right mind, like, again, apologize for cursing, but seriously, who in their fucking right mind thinks that it is a good idea to take out your phone or take out your camera, press record, and start watching your own family member, your grandfather, dying of a fucking heart attack, and his only excuse was because he ate meat? Dude, you're a fucking emotionless asshole.
As soon as the paramedics got to the house, I took out my camera and started filming. But, a bunch of people in my family, my mom, my grandmother, uncles, like that, they threw a big fucking fit about me showing that footage on YouTube.
You know what? Dude, no. It's a good thing they threw a fit. It's a good thing they stopped you. And I would probably guess that they're fucking embarrassed about how much of a fucking sociopath you are.
Penguinz0's channel around antagonizing anyone who wasn't a vegan in an almost sociopathic manner. Unfortunately for Penguinz0, that style of content didn't sit well with YouTube's TOS, which resulted in a brief termination of his channel. After getting his channel reinstated, Penguinz0 would seek out other ways of garnering views, and by the 27th of March 2020, he'd find exactly what he was looking for in one of Charlie's uploads. The video in question was titled, "YouTuber Tortures and Eats Animals Alive." And
okay, I don't get this one. Like, when I saw this originally, I couldn't understand it. Because you have a female creator who goes out of her way to basically pick apart these alive animals to freaking eat them. Charlie, you know, makes it very clear that that's disgusting behavior. But Penguinz0 goes out of his way to try to attack Penguinz0 or Charlie because, oh, he tried to make sausage in one video? Are you kidding me? I mean, honestly, it just goes to show where your priorities are at.
Or Charlie criticizing a mukbang YouTuber for the horrific treatment of animals.
It is absolutely baffling to me. Eating an octopus alive is like eating a f***ing dog alive. They're on the same level. She's basically just eating a sea Thai dog. It's f***ing crazy how this is even allowed, and how she has an audience that supports it and defends her in the comment section. She has f***ing simps defending her in the comment section. Have some f***ing shame. Even if you set aside morals and ethics, the content itself is f***ing atrocious. All she does when she's not torturing and eating animals alive is scream, ah, oh, ah, 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 as, you know, you have goofy cartoon music blasting behind her.
Vegan Gains tried using this video alongside another titled "I Tried Making Sausages and It Ended Up a Disaster" as justification to call Charlie an arch hypocrite, claiming he was no different from the previous mentioned mukbang YouTuber.
So who are you to criticize So Young for not killing these animals quickly and humanely when you can't even do that yourself? So you're just a complete hypocrite, and if anything, what you're doing is arguably worse.
Naturally.
No, it's not. It is not worse. That is not worse. Like, I don't understand. Like, again, you have people like this that think, you know, for Charlie's case, he didn't butcher the animal. He didn't, like, you know, process the animal. All he did was try to make sausage. That's it. But he's going to try to compare what Charlie did to what the woman was doing. Basically, again, picking and prodding the animals and eating them alive. Like, seriously, you're going to try to compare the two. If anything, again, that woman is the worst one out of the two.
Vegan Gains received serious backlash for his extreme leap in logic, with the video garnering over 30,000 dislikes. Not long after, Charlie would upload a response to the accusations and explain how Vegan Gains was giving veganism a bad reputation.
I want to lead this conversation by saying I have nothing but respect for veganism as a whole, but it's people like Vegan Gains who are overly aggressive and the feral...
Can I just say, before he continues, or before I continue the video with what he has to say, I'm going to say, like, I support veganism, too. There are times where, again, I try to... I've said this before, where I sometimes try to find a vegetable substitute. Sometimes I fail at it, but at the same time, like, if I find something that's actually really good, that I enjoy, that's a vegan or vegetable substitute, then, you know what? I have that instead. But in terms of veganism, and by the way, it goes into two categories for veganism. You have individuals who, you know, want to make their lives better, that only eat plants and are very generous people, to the fucking insane cult-like behavior vegan assholes that, if you do not subject to their own method of thinking, they will proceed to attack you, to bemoan you, to threaten you, to freaking trying to shame you, all for not eating plants. So this whole behavior, this whole thing, it's stupid. It really is.
Monsters in his comments section that really give vegans a bad rap and a negative reputation in the world. They vilify anyone who's not a vegan. They treat it like a cult where you're a huge piece of shit, evil and wrong if you're not in their club. Now, of course, I'm not talking about everyone who is a vegan. I am talking about this community that Vegan Gains has fostered here, and he himself. This is the worst way of ever getting anyone to convert to that belief. By constantly antagonizing them and throwing insults to anyone that is not already a vegan ensures that they will never take it seriously and always have a negative impression of your beliefs.
In addition to this, Charlie would affirm his belief that meat alternatives are the future, but state that people like Vegan Gains would only serve to push people away from that with his extreme ideal.
I mean, like I said, I personally believe that down the line, I would want us to eat just vegetables, but, and I've had this debate before with another individual, it's complicated because, one, you're going to have individuals that are not want to conform. Two, depending, because every individual on this planet has a different biology, and there's certain time there are going to be cases where a person isn't going to be able to process foods the same way as the next person. So in terms of like eating vegetables, it may not sit well with them. Or, and, oh, by the way, not just not eating vegetables and only vegetables. And I've had one person say, well, did you take supplements? And it's like, well, you shouldn't have to take supplements. At times, especially when you have the nutrients that are available to you, you shouldn't have to take supplements that could cause even more issues down the line.
When it comes to Vegan Gain's accusations of Charlie inhumanely killing animals, he had this to say.
This is a point I see brought up throughout all of veganism, that no matter how an animal is killed, no matter how humane it's deemed, it is inherently evil and wrong. But I have to ask, then does that make every animal in the animal kingdom inherently evil? Because the vast majority of animals out there eat other animals to survive.
Yeah.
And they don't do it quickly. So does that make every animal in the animal kingdom that eats other animals inherently evil, or is that trait specific to humans alone? And if so, why?
Exactly.
Unable to understand Charlie's logic, or simply wanting to continue stirring up drama, Vegan Gains would upload a poorly thought out response accusing Charlie's audience of being toxic.
I find this extremely hypocritical for him to call me and my community toxic when his community is incredibly toxic. I just did a live stream a few hours ago, and because Charlie did this response video around the same time I started my live stream, a lot of his followers came over to my live stream, and what did they do? They called me names, they were spamming the chat with, oh,
plants feel pain, plants feel pain. I mean, I believe there is some. Wasn't there some studies about plants having some kind of cognitive ability? I know it sounds stupid, but if anything, plants feel. So, in a sense, I mean, I would have to guess they are right on that. That plants do feel pain. Shut up, dude! Your headlight is fucked. I'm not gonna pull pot shots. I'm just gonna read what they said.
Oh, meat tastes great.
Vegan Gains not only refused to address the points Charlie made.
I didn't even see that. I just saw like plants feel pain. That was like the only thing.
In his response, but he also affirmed that said points were completely irrelevant.
So not only are you just making ridiculous personal attacks and poisoning the well, but this is just completely hypocritical.
Similar to his previous video about
my
Charlie, the video was dislike bombed, with several viewers calling him out for being disingenuous in the comment section, reading, "I like how he's saying Charlie is twisting his words by twisting Charlie's words, lol."
Yeah.
It was clear to viewers that Vegan Gains didn't care about having a healthy dialogue, and
He
instead wanted to drum up as much controversy as possible to save his dying channel.
I think in that situation, Vegan Gains, again, as he pointed out, he didn't want to have a healthy dialogue. He didn't want to understand, the other person's viewpoint. He just wanted to stir up drama, because that's all he can do at this point to keep his channel alive.
Sadly, the controversy he would create would only degrade his career even further, with
There
the
you
final
go.
nail in the coffin coming in the form of another response video from Charlie.
I did open that video up for a dialogue. I thought that's what the goal was, but Vegan Gains has made it clear he doesn't give a fuck about a conversation. He only cares about getting the attention. So right after I posted my video, he went live on YouTube where he watched my 10-minute video for about an hour and a half. I want to say right away, I don't condone people going to harass anyone I make videos about. I hate that behavior. I will never encourage that. So the people that went there just to make fun of him or anything like that, you never ever have my encouragement or my blessing to do so. I think that shit sucks. But that did happen. He spent an hour and a half watching a 10-minute video because he'd stop every 2 words to screech and scream one of 3 things, one of only 3 phrases he seems to know: straw man, ad hominem, and poisoning the well.
From pointing out how Vegan Gains only cared about attacking meat eaters to showcasing the obvious flaws in his arguments, Charlie spent the rest of the video relentlessly destroying the vegan influencer's perceived moral high ground.
I feel like the content you make isn't geared towards getting people over to your side and seeing these great things veganism has to offer. It's more geared towards just getting high fives of approval, like, yes, you f***ing owned that meat eater. And I just don't see why you wouldn't try and take the route of, here's what good things veganism has and you might be interested in.
Exactly.
Hey, I see you were talking about animal abuse, you clearly care. Here's some interesting things, which you did kind of touch on, but then still wanted to get those little, you know, ass pats from your community in the comment section of, yeah, you f***ing owned him.
Charlie would also observe that Vegan Gains was more motivated by financial gain rather than furthering the vegan movement.
Yeah.
I really do get the impression that it's just for the sake of milking a controversy because you made so much money during that live stream off it. And I think that's the worst part of it. Like I said, I had full intentions of having a conversation with you. You really didn't give me a chance because you had already posted a video by the time I even saw it. Before I even had a chance to reach out to you. You had clearly made up your mind that, yeah, I want to continue this. And now I just don't see why I would go on to debate you or bring you on the podcast to talk about it when it does seem your intention is just to grow from the controversy. You're getting a lot more views from this controversy, and like I said, you made a lot of money during that live stream.
You'd think after being exposed for trying to profit off baseless accusations that Vegan Gains would take the hint and stop attacking Charlie, but you'd be wrong.
Charlie is trying to make it seem as though, oh, he just didn't have a chance to respond to my debate challenges.
What the heck?
When that's a complete lie. You had plenty of time after I live streamed or even during my live stream, and you had plenty of time after you finished work, after you were live streaming. So at any time, you could have just, responded to me, messaged me on Twitter, and accepted my debate challenge, but you didn't because you know you're terrified of debating me and you're looking for whatever excuse you can to weasel out of it.
I don't think it was he was weaseling out. It's just like the other guy. There's nothing that he had to say, and honestly, there was nothing that he really needed to. There's no justification for it, really. You just wanted a debate to stroke your ego, not to actually have a fucking dialogue.
And now you've made this stupid excuse that, oh, well, you're just looking for like attention and money. That's the only reason you're doing this.
That is the only reason you're doing this, vegan. Like, seriously.
Really, Charlie, you're acting as if that I'm benefiting off of this more than you.
You are trying to do that, dude. Stop lying.
Vegan Gains was shamelessly trying to bait out a response from Charlie that would ultimately never come. What he did receive was another massively disliked video and a comment section that made fun of him, with comments reading,
oh my gosh.
Vegan Gains, you are wrong because I don't believe that. I'm dead lol. Holy shit, I finally found a delusional enough person to use for my studies. As well as, WTF is this man's moral beliefs? He has contradicted himself like 10 times in 39 minutes. Vegan Gains' attempt to profit off drama with Charlie only caused damage to the overall performance of his channel, as his sub count would not only stagnate, but slowly decline over time. However, Vegan Gains wouldn't be the only one to suffer immensely after trying to milk controversy with Charlie, as Novakast Avocado did the same thing and failed spectacularly. Novakast Avocado is a man who needs no introduction. He's made a name for himself by sharing his over-the-top personality through some of the most extreme mukbang videos on YouTube.
Oh, that looks... I'm gonna say this. That looks fucking disgusting. Like, is that supposed to be like Takis and freaking spaghetti? That looks so wrong. Like, seriously. That looks so freaking wrong.
However, this brand of content isn't without its negative side effects, as Novakast has suffered various health complications over the years. Consequently, many creators have shared their concerns over Novakast's overindulgent eating, with Charlie being one of the more vocal ones.
It's someone that I'm sure you've heard of. I've talked about him before. A lot of people have. He's been a big name on YouTube for a while. His name's Novakast Avocado. If you're on Twitter, you've probably seen his asshole floating around pretty often. For some reason, it was a big trend in meme to just post Novakast Avocado's OnlyFans content all over Twitter. So I've seen his butthole more times than I've seen him doing his mukbangs. For those who don't know, Novakast Avocado is a mukbang YouTuber. It's primarily what he does. Mukbangs are when you just eat on camera. And that's about it.
Charlie would go on to show viewers how much damage Nico's recent eating habits were doing to his health.
Okay.
I wouldn't have become disabled if it weren't for you people.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. I want to say this. It's bad where you start blaming other people for your own choices. You chose to, do these challenges where you're overeating. You chose to do whatever you're doing now. It's not anybody else's fault but your own. Okay, I need a transition. Okay.
Who encouraged these videos?
Okay, again, you can't... I'm sorry, I know I keep pausing, but that's how I react. I would say, in terms of, videos, I mean, half of it is probably people being concerned about you. Seeing you just basically eating a ton of shitty food and then ruining your freaking health for it. Half people are concerned. Half people more likely are there to make fun of you. But at the same time, it kind of puts in perspective what's going on. I don't want to sound like I'm justifying people getting harassed, but it's dude, you're eating, looking at right now, I mean, there's 4 fucking pizzas on the screen from, looks like Little Caesars, but it's dude, that is way too fucking much. And I know it's that type of content called, what is it called, mukbang, where you're eating a ton of food, but this is kind of obsessive, it seems. If you ask me, if I was to give my own opinion, it just seems a little bit, a tad, it's excessive. I think I said obsessive, excessive. That's the word I need to use.
$6. This is the $10. Ouch! My ribs.
By the way, I want to say this too. I find it ironic that he has a shirt on that says it's your fault. No, fucker. It's your... I don't want to sound mean, but no, fucker. It's the situation isn't because of us. It's because of you. You decided to make the content. You could have made other types of content, but you decided to do this. I always get frustrated when you have content creators. They make content, and when things don't go their way, when they get backlash, they want to blame the community for them making the content. No, you decide to get on camera and eat a ton of shitty food. You're the one who keeps doing this, not us. You have every opportunity to go out of your way to say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. But instead, you see the views, you see, that you're getting popular because of it, and you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to blame, I'm not going to take any responsibility for my own choices.
How many months are we going to have to endure this pain? All right.
If you stopped eating that kind of food, then you probably wouldn't have to.
Throughout the video, Charlie discussed Nico's slow
Uh-oh, what happened?
Nico's recent eating habits were doing to his health.
I wouldn't have become disabled if it weren't for you people who encouraged these videos.
Okay, if for some reason it went back, that was weird. But oh well.
$6. This is the $10. Ouch!
But
my ribs.
yeah, like I said, you can't blame us. You can't blame the viewers for you getting in front of a camera and making the wholehearted choice of doing this kind of content. You can't.
How many months are we gonna have to endure this pain? All right.
Throughout the video, Charlie discussed Nico's slow decline, from having a more suitable weight and mental state to his current course of throwing away his health.
That still looks really fucking disgusting. Like, no joke. Like, I don't understand. Like, that looks wrong.
For views.
The last 4 years, almost every day, he has done mukbangs like this, where he's eating 6 pizzas, 8 pizzas. He'll get like fucking McDonald's and he'll order everything off the menu and then ask if they can just tilt the grill over to get a little extra grease in a cup for him to drink on camera.
Ew. Like, very ew.
It has been an extremely sad thing to see.
While Charlie was trying to give him a somber wake-up call about his health, Nico almost immediately perceived this video as a personal attack.
Of course he
posted
did.
A rather aggressive response video.
Of course he did.
This person thought it would be cute to sit down on the computer and talk about my weight and my appearances and to fixate on how I look.
I mean, it's not like he's trying to bully you, dude. It just seems like he's you know, concerned. Also, what's with that shirt? What is with that shirt? I'm sorry. Like, what is that? Like, what is that? Like, dude, was that seriously thought of as a good idea for a shirt? Like, I can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't take that seriously.
As if I don't have the right to exist because I happen to be a little overweight.
It's not that you're overweight, it's that you're killing yourself by eating the crap food that you are, or that you're eating. It's not that you're overweight, dude. It's the fact that you're more likely destroying your health and you're killing yourself with shitty fucking food. I think that's the point that Moist Critical was trying to make, or no, sorry, not Moist Critical, Penguinz0 was trying to make, is that your health is terrible right now because of the foods you eat. And not only that, but the excessive amount of food that you eat.
Because I happen to have a little water weight, because I happen to be a little...
I don't know if I classify that as water weight, dude. I'm sorry.
Nico would
I don't want to sound like... Okay, I don't want to sound like a dick. But let's be honest here. With a lot of the food that you eat, I don't think that it would be classified as water weight. I think that's more of delusion.
By stating his previous body weight was extremely unhealthy.
Something about me being vegan. Oh, look, he was so skinny. And he showed photos of me when I had just rotted a tooth out of my face, had to get surgery, had such low iron levels that I was anemic, that I had low libido, that I had brain issues.
As well as claiming Charlie was trying to over-exaggerate his situation for views.
On the screen, bigger number, better person. Everyone's so desperate to squeeze as much milk as possible from those beautiful...
I don't get this little setup right here. What is that? Looks like a Wendy's sandwich, French fries, chili. I can't tell what's in that other container. There's a ton of ranch though.
Oh, let's look at his thumbnail, shall we? Let's see what he's trying to achieve with my face. Like this, and a title like this. This YouTuber is slowly killing himself.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, dude. I mean, let's be honest here. Like, what do you... Like, okay, if they're making a... I've heard this argument before, where people complain about using the thumbnail, using their face for the thumbnail. It's like, dude, first off, you're a public figure. So, you should know that your in terms of your face is public. So people can, especially when people are discussing a video or having a video discussing your behavior, your, like, what's going on with you, giving their own opinions and documentation on it, they have every right to use your face in the thumbnail. And at this point, considering the fact that he's talking about you literally killing yourself with the food that you ate, the thumbnail, I think, would, especially since, you know, there's video of you wearing a fucking mask, but I would probably guess that's where he got it from. I mean, if anything, that's all public. So it's like, what are you bitching about? What, just because he used your face? Because he talked about you? Dude, you're a public figure. Get over it.
Views. So, are you trying to play the high and mighty game all on your pedestal? That you're not trying to squeeze something out of something? Yes.
That was a dumb remark.
Let's sensationalize things about me at my expense. I don't even know who you are.
Looking past Nico's...
It doesn't even matter who, if you know who we are. I love that one too. That one's been used like time and time again. I don't know who you are, so you have no right to talk about you or talk about me. Dude, again, you're a public figure. When you make certain things public, people have the right to talk about it. Sometimes even, you know, expressing it as news for the most part. So for you to go out of your way and say, oh, I don't know you, so you basically trying to imply that, oh, because I don't know you, you can't talk about me, is fucking ignorant. It really is.
His abrasive attitude, he made some genuinely reasonable points, such as his disabilities being the result of prior health conditions, and the fact Charlie didn't tell his viewers.
I could kind of understand that, but some of it, I think also, like, as much as I would kind of, like, admit that maybe that could be the case, a lot of it stems from, I would strongly, probably assume that a lot of it comes from what his eating habits are right now.
It was not to harass anyone. However, it was obvious Nico didn't want to acknowledge how his current eating habits were eating away at his...
There we go. Yeah, what is this? Dude! So it's like, he made like 2 versions of like the Taki spaghetti. What the fuck is this, man? That looks so fucking gross. Oh! I don't think I ever saw this. I don't remember if I saw it, but if I did, I probably erased it from my memory. What is this? Oh my gosh! Actually, now that I think about it, I think it might be ramen. Oh my god! I'm hoping that's not what it is.
His health, but that didn't stop Charlie from admitting where he went wrong.
But anyway, not to actually talk about the things Nick brings up that I think are very important to talk about. First of all, he talks about the people that went from my video to his to just be assholes. I always openly condemn this, and I should have again said don't go harass him, because it looks like people need a constant fucking reminder to not fucking harass people. You're not...
I think it goes without saying that you shouldn't be harassing people. I mean, and honestly, I think as a public figure, I mean, what Charlie is doing is very respectful, where, in terms of, you know, what's going on, he has to go out of his way to say, hey, don't harass people. I think that should be said, like, that should be, like, kind of set in stone automatically, that you should not harass people. But you have a certain people who are kind of, I want to say, obsessive, people who are deranged, and I want to say feed on negativity, and would proceed to do horrible things. I would say that with Charlie saying, hey, you know, don't harass people. I mean, that's I would say that's a sign of character. I mean, in my if you guys notice in the description of my videos, I make it a point in there that, hey, don't go harassing people. In fact, I'm gonna say this too. If you guys watch my videos, don't harass people. I think that goes without saying. But oh my gosh, it's so far. It does seem like, with everything, he, especially with the Nikado Avocado situation, he wants to assume that, that people wanted to make videos just to make fun of him. No. If anything, I would say half and half. Maybe 80% of the people that made videos on him were just doing it because they were concerned that another member of their community was dealing with health problems. It's kind of like in the opposite spectrum, where you had I just realized I have not heard about this creator for a really long time. The Eugenia Cooney situation, where you had a young woman who was dealing with anorexia. Some of the people online were, showing concern for her, but you had other people that were just so fucking deranged, and saying very horrible things to this woman. Even individuals like I hate to use them as an example again, but even individuals like Onision pretended to show concern only for him to push a narrative that he had no place in talking about, and even making skit videos of Eugenia Cooney and her situation, which all in all is pretty screwed up. But bottom line, in the end, bottom line, with all of us being public figures, we should not harass the individuals that we are discussing, or if anything, we should not bring harassment to the individuals that we're discussing, and so on. Or if we have beef, don't send our audiences to harass. Each and every one of us should be against harassment, but unfortunately, you have certain individuals that are public figures that would go out of their way to try to harass, dox, threaten, etc. Pretty screwed up.
You're not some kind of internet vigilante fighting for justice. That angry comment you left on Nick's video isn't going to help him. You're just being a fucking douchebag. And
yeah.
I completely, sincerely apologize for overlooking the fact that I need to remind people how to behave online. I always absolutely fucking hate. I've made 2 different videos on how much I hate when people go and harass people.
Yeah.
But just from YouTube videos and shit. It sucks. It fucking sucks. 100%. And Nick is absolutely in the right in calling that out.
With that said, Charlie would also address how Nico possibly misrepresented his points for the sake of boosting engagement.
It's clear immediately that Nick misunderstood what I was saying in my video. I don't know if that's on purpose just for the sake of having an aggressive response video for YouTube drama, or if he genuinely didn't understand what I was trying to say. But he makes it clear that he didn't get what I was going for.
Despite this, Charlie would provide Nico with some insight on how he could do his mukbang videos more healthily and sustainably.
Okay, there you go. I think we watched this video, but it's like, dude, there's a way to do this in a way that isn't going to kill yourself. There's a way for this to, there's a way for you to go about making these videos that doesn't end up screwing up your health in the long run.
It doesn't have to do with his weight or his appearance. It has to do with what he's eating on camera and how often he's
There you go.
It. Take, for example, Matt Stoney. Matt Stoney will do these incredible food challenges. He'll eat in 20,000, 30, 40,000 calorie meals in a single sitting in under an hour for a YouTube video, and they're fucking awesome. That's nuts to butts action. Matt Stoney eating the out of 20 burritos at a time, double fisting 1,000 tacos per hand. It's incredible stuff, and it's so much food and so many calories. But Matt Stoney does that once every few weeks, once a month maybe. Nikado Avocado is doing something comparable almost every single day.
Something to note was that Charlie understood it.
So basically, so to kind of half-heartedly use this this phrase, quality over quantity. So if you want to continue if you want to continue doing the mukbang videos, then that's fine. But maybe do them once every other opportunity, not every day. Like maybe once a week, not every day, I should say.
He got some things wrong when he initially covered Nico's situation, as well as looking past the ways Nico was trying to misrepresent his arguments. But sadly, Nico wasn't ready to have a productive conversation.
That's still, I'm sorry, I keep pausing again, but dude, it's ironic. It's ironic that you keep seeing this shirt where he's wearing a shirt that says it's your fault. It's like, no, it's not. You want to keep blaming other people for what your choices. That's literally what this is. You made the choice to make the content. You are suffering the consequences of your choices, and you want to blame other people for what you did to yourself. That's literally what this is. It's not going to work.
On the matter, and instead opted to make another angry response video mere hours after Charlie's video went live.
Yeah, there's 50,000 comments collectively across 5 of my YouTube channels that I should be, that I don't deserve to keep because I don't respect my body. And then you have the nerve.
So you can't blame him for that. He's already pointed out that he doesn't that face. Sorry that I paused it on, but I mean, Charlie, you already have a video where Charlie denounces violence. The people who are doing that are complete and utter shitbags. And if anything, they should be disassociated from Charlie. You have people that are basically that are there now, that are, saying those things, are at this point should not be associated with what Charlie is saying. They shouldn't.
To come back a second time and say, well, I never stand for it. I've made 2 videos one time about how I don't think it's cool. You have thousands of videos. I don't care if you've made 500 videos about comments. You take the situation at hand for what it is at face value. And if I approach you and say, look, this is bothering me, say something to your followers, and
he did say something to his followers. I mean, dude, what the fuck do you expect? He's already made a point that he said something to his followers. I almost said father. But it's like, dude, what do you want? And again, you're a public fucking figure. Things like this are going to happen. And honestly, at this point, I've learned, I'm going to say this. Over time, especially when I've done a lot of commentary videos, I've had people shitting on how I look. Shitting on me for, having a different opinion than everybody else. I've had a freaking, at one point, I'm using him as reference again, I've had an obsessive fucking Onision fan basically go through my comments and obsessively try to attack my looks, attack my videos, and, in a sense, try to make reaction videos attacking me. And at one point, with everything, especially when that was the content I was making, where I was doing a lot of commentary. At that point, because I'm posting to YouTube, I've become a public figure. I may not be as big as other people, but at the same time, I became a public figure. And there's one thing I learned early on that, unfortunately, people like Nikado Avocado and many others who are a lot bigger than me fail to understand. People are shitty people. And in terms of content, in terms of what they say, if they are saying something to try to hurt you, dude, they're saying it on their fucking keyboard. Let it go. Because by the end of the day, the comments that people post on the internet, post on your videos, they're just words. Words aren't going to hurt you. And at that point, you need to grow a fucking spine and not let what people say affect you. Again, because you are a public figure.
And you don't go back to that video and help stop some of the that's on you. That's your character. You want to talk about my character?
Judging by the 70,000
And you know, I look at this guy, Nikado Avocado, and I see an individual who can't take criticism, who can't take responsibility for his own choices, who blames everybody else for, you know, the food that he eats, his health condition now, because again, he made the choice to make those videos, to overeat like he does. That's nobody else's fault but your own.
Likes on the response video, it's safe to say it wasn't received well from viewers, but that
no
didn't
shit.
stop him from including
No shit. So he's got like 10k likes and then 70k dislikes. Oh my gosh.
Charlie's name in several other videos. Penguinz0 Mr. Beast ruined me, eating like Penguinz0 critical for 24 hours.
I kind of find it funny that he wants to. He complains that Penguinz0 was using his face for using suggestive thumbnails to get clicks. When, dude, you have yourself wearing a freaking face mask. And it looks like a mask from a freaking CPAP machine. And you're, like, surrounded by fucking Popeyes. It looked like you bought the whole damn store, dude. Like, come on. You want to talk about your freaking excessive or, you know, people like, or sorry, suggestive? That's suggestive, dude. What the hell? It's like you even posed for the thing. Like, ha ha ha. Like, dude, fuck off with your fucking sympathy, man. You wanna act like, you know, people like Penguinz0 are on the moral high ground, but you yourself are doing the exact same fucking thing. You're making suggestive thumbnails for the sake of clicks. That's exactly what you're doing, dude.
And Penguinz0's brainwashed fans won't stop. However, one good thing did come out of this situation, as Nico actually lost some weight following his interaction with Charlie.
Okay. Now I've recently learned that Nikado Avocado has been actively losing weight. He posted a new video kind of briefly going over how much weight he's lost, which he claims is roughly around 89 pounds, and I think that is incredible. The weight announcement does come during a pizza mukbang, but 89 pounds down and there's a noticeable difference, he's fucking earned the right to splurge like that.
Yeah.
I think that is fantastic.
Unfortunately, that good news wouldn't last for long, as
Okay.
Nico would eventually relapse and gain back the weight that he lost. Falling into a deep downward spiral wasn't something only Nico would experience, as Def Noodle suffered a similar fate after trying to make a fool out of.
Oh my god, that dude. Oh my god. Holy shit, I forgot about this guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, you guys don't even know, like... I don't know if you guys know some of the stuff with this guy. Oh my gosh. This is great.
Of Charlie. Def Noodle's time on YouTube was defined by two things: being a wannabe comedian and not taking important situations seriously. From misrepresenting allegations to poorly covering news stories. This pattern of behavior not only spawned several controversies throughout his career, but also destroyed whatever chances he had at being an actual comedian. The incident that made these controversial tendencies more apparent was the way Def Noodles handled the fallout of his failed Super Roast battle.
You're like my cousin.
Oh my gosh, this fucking roast battle thing. Oh my gosh. Oh. Yeah, it's funny where he says he wants to be a comedian, but you like listen to him in this roast battle thing, and he's trash. I mean, I'm gonna say I'm not a comedian, but that is not good.
If you were a girl.
Thank you. I bet you cried when you got those tattoos.
I did. I did. Are you from Detroit?
Take a guess.
No.
What the? It's like, what's the joke? Like, I don't understand.
I'm bombing so bad, and I don't give a...
Neither do I, bro. Come on, we in it together, doggy.
The event was plagued by technical issues, poor performances, and bad showmanship, which was only magnified by the fact the whole thing was being streamed to thousands of viewers. During the lead up to the event, Def Noodles had bragged about how much of a game changer it was going to be. However, now that it had fallen flat, the entire online community rightfully made fun of him. A few days after...
I mean, there's one point where a dude came on stage and freaking, you really roasted him. And then, dude got so upset, he freaking booted him off the stage. Hold on, let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Hold on. I wanna quickly look at that. Like, see if I can find this. Def Noodles roast battle fight. I think that's okay. Let's see. Okay, I think I found it. Well, it's from a Penguinz0 video too. Here, let me find the initial video with just him. Trying to see if I can find it. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna look at, or pull up the
couple
Penguin.
Weeks ago.
I'm just gonna pull up the Charlie video. See if I can get to the point where it gets violent. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna just watch it from the beginning and then...
assault. And that...
Okay, sorry about that. At this point... I'm gonna say this. At this point, in terms of the reaction. It's all raw, so... Alright, there we go.
A couple weeks ago, I was the side character in some internet drama, though it wasn't exactly drama, it was more just emotional shit-flinging, and it all stemmed from a video I made called I've Never Seen Something This Horrible. The video is just me joking about an event that a YouTuber held called a Super Roast Battle, where it was just a comedy special with people insulting each other. And the title of this video is still accurate. I don't think I will ever see something this bad again. I could watch my grandfather get hit by a train right in front of me, and I still wouldn't be as traumatized by that as I was watching this stand-up special. Dunking your own head into a bucket of hydrochloric acid would be less painful than watching that Super Roast Battle. Being sentenced to the guillotine is more humane than being sentenced to watch that entire Super Roast Battle segment. It's bad. It's horrible. Like, and the video title still is 100% accurate. But that's not the point. I made that video joking about it, and the YouTuber that held it, Def Noodles, was a little upset about it. Though I think ultimately...
I could probably guess why, because it disrupts his ego.
Def Noodles, as well as the community, realized it's not that big of a deal. You know, cringe isn't the ultimate sin. It's not a huge issue.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a crime to hold a bad comedy night. But you know what is a crime? Assault. And
Yeah.
that happened last night at Def Noodles' most recent Super Roast Battle.
Okay, so here it is. So this is where it gets violent, where a dude is... If I remember correctly, this was another content creator who came in, kind of, you know, made fun of Def Noodles. And there you go. So he basically, I don't know what they were chanting, but this pisses off Def Noodles so much he proceeds to try to throw him off the stage.
At first I thought this was staged, because it looks like something straight out of the WWE.
Okay, I'm sure this is gonna be brought up again about the thing, but I'm gonna quickly switch back to the other video. But I just wanted to share that clip of Def Noodle shoving the guy off the stage. But Def Noodles has done a lot of like other things. I mean, in terms of in terms of his bad comedy, in terms of his false reporting. I mean, for whatever reason, they put him on the documentary for the Onision doc that they had on. I can't remember what app it was now, but which, you know what, I'm gonna say this. You know, if I can go on a little bit of a tangent, this always bugged me, where you had Chris Hansen, you had all these other people, you know, try to make a documentary going over, you know, Onision's history, as well as some of the things that were said and the possible victims. And the whole tagline is letting the world know what he's done. And yet they only post it on one singular streaming site. No joke. Like it's like I'm trying to rack my brain on how that is supposed to allow people to see what happened, where you just exclude everybody else except for one streaming site. I mean, if anything, it should have been on YouTube. But then they probably wouldn't have made revenue. I don't know.
After Def Noodle's poorly executed comedy night took place, Charlie decided to add a few roasts in of his own, with a video titled, "I've never seen something this horrible."
An event that he was hosting finally happened, which is this, the Super Roast Battles. It's an event he was hyping up for weeks. He was even trying to goad some YouTubers into coming on to like settle their beef in a roast battle. So he was like going to charge them $15 in order to come on stage and roast each other. None of them showed up. In fact, almost nobody in general showed up. As you can see, it's not exactly like a sold out stadium here. It's about 10 family and friends. And this was a complete fucking disaster.
While Charlie did cover many of the issues with the event, he would focus more on how Def Noodles was insecure about his skills as a comedian.
I'm not supposed to win. You're supposed to win.
You look like a white trash fly.
You could have gone anyway with that. You went with white trash fly?
He's not even like making retorts. He's
Yeah.
just feeling insecure now. He's like, you win, please stop, I'm dead. Please, God, stop. Now you're just hurting my feelings. You're fired.
Feeding into that insecure.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, dude, it just goes to show, man. Freaking A.
Def Noodles focused on the criticism and published a satirical apology to Charlie, which only made things worse.
Well, I am thoroughly disappointed that I dared to put on something together for my fans. I am not a comedian.
What is that? What is that voice, man?
I'm not even a human. I am just a clump of cells currently existing and spewing raw bullshit that I'm reading directly from a prompter.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing, dude.
Your entertainment.
Instead of focusing on how he could improve the roast battles in the future, Def Noodles decided it would be a good idea to deflect all criticism and conduct another roast battle.
I will once again produce a super roast battle 2 weeks from now so we can wrong every right that was left unturned. So we can break every cringe record in the history of humanity, so we can murder any possibility of a comedian having any credibility ever again, because as we all know, folks, comedy is perfect.
This decision would not only blind Def Noodles to all other
Comedy, comedy is subjective. That's in terms of comedy, I would say anything goes. That's what it should be. I've always thought that comedy was a way to kind of take the piss out of, you know, things that are serious, things that that we obsess about, and basically turning it on its head. That's what I've always thought about comedy.
Parts improving as a comedian, but also severely damage any future prospects he had in that line of work. However, Def Noodles had more pressing matters to attend, as Charlie would upload a response video to Def Noodles' apology.
Like I said when talking about the event, I don't really know Def Noodles. I don't hate him. I've only seen a couple of things on Twitter where he said or did some bad shit that people were dunking on him for, and I've seen this roast. That's my whole exposure to Def Noodles, so I don't have strong opinions on him.
After analyzing and debunking many of the arguments made in Def Noodles' apology video, Charlie would offer some friendly advice on how not to act in the future.
And I think that's what he's going through at the moment, where he's impulsively responding to things that are kind of non-issues, like me laughing at the roast, or people's response to the roast, or whatever the fuck is going on Twitter, and making a video about it, which is only further hurting him. Which it's like a cycle, and there just has to be this point where you say, like, okay, let me just step back from Twitter, which is the best thing you can ever do, you know, and I'll just, you know, handle it privately as opposed to making everything a public spectacle, you know. There was drama on Twitter, and I'm just going to sit on it myself. I don't need to make a video talking about it, because if I do, people aren't going to want to hear it, and they might not like it.
Sadly, these words would fall on deaf ears, as the second Super Roast battle would have similar issues to the first. Worse still, Def Noodles made the mistake of impulsively attacking one of the only people who could have saved the event, his rival, Salvo Pancakes.
Okay. I just realized he says get. It could be wrong, but he says get the fuck out.
It's worth remembering that Def Noodles had invited Salvo to the event, and they planned on having an epic roast battle as the main event of the night. Whether due to insecurity or malice, Def Noodles would abandon that plan to seemingly satisfy his ego and regain control of the show after Salvo took the stage. Despite this, Salvo would remind Def Noodles who was really in control.
There'll be nobody in the crowd.
In one foul move, Def Noodles had successfully ruined what was left of his reputation, and to make matters worse, it was live streamed to even more people than the first Super Roast battle, and as a result, there was even more backlash than ever before.
Now, I think no matter what, it's a big overreaction from Def Noodles here, unless of course there was an imminent threat where the guy was on stage talking about he's gonna start throwing hands with everyone in the front row or something, or making like legitimate threats to the crowd. Couldn't tell you, but it does seem like a massive overreaction from Def Noodles here.
It most definitely was. I mean, it didn't. I think it's the point's been made that it was supposed to be a roast battle where you and your opponent would go out of their way to basically crack jokes at each other, to roast yourselves or roast each other. And you go out of your way when you see a guy that you don't like and proceed to try to attack him. Not even proceed to try. You basically pushed him off the stage.
There, he pushes him from behind and then hides behind his friends to keep the other guy off of him, which I think is pretty lame. If you're gonna start some, you gotta finish that. You know, it's like vegetables. You gotta finish your plate. You can't just take a bite. If you're gonna push this guy and he's ready to respond, now it's on you to employ the knight's honor, you know, the code of conduct. You have started this fight. Now it is your time to engage in it. I don't like when someone does that and then immediately hides behind the muscle.
In the months following the event, Defnidal's career would rapidly self-destruct, as he lost 90% of his viewership, made videos asking his audience to unsubscribe, and eventually wiped all of his social media. The worst part about it was that he would eventually realize his mistake, but it was already too late.
I really do. I give up. It's over. It just really fuck it all up. I was really embarrassed and ashamed to admit it, but I did it. It's all my fault, and I've put myself here.
In Defnidal's situation, Charlie had to do next to nothing for the career of someone trying to expose him to implode. However, the people attacking Charlie aren't limited to those he makes videos about. Strangely, he could be trying to do the right thing, and people would still try to expose him. In early 2024, Charlie would incorporate a positive element into his regular live streams. Instead of viewers donating to him, Charlie decided to give away various amounts of money to his viewers. All they had to do was fill out a Google form explaining why they needed the money, and Charlie would send the requested amount.
This is Bunny Girl Blitz asking for 150. Hey Charlie, I have $10 in my account right now and I'm hoping and asking for 150 just to put gas in the car and have some lunches for work till payday. Alright, I got you, Bunny Girl Blitz.
The amounts would range from $50 to a few $100s, and for a while, everyone got what they wanted. Viewers got their requests fulfilled, and Charlie got the chance to help the community that got him the platform that he enjoys today. However, by March 2024, this otherwise wholesome interaction would be spoiled by a few bad apples who assumed there was something more sinister at play.
So it seems like there's people that think me giving away random amounts of money to random viewers on stream is a tax write-off. Do you not know how that shit works? Do you know how tax write-offs work? Because I can't write those off.
After people further echoed this sentiment on Twitter, Charlie decided to address the situation directly.
What I read today is about how the giveaways I do on stream, where I just have viewers fill out a form, tell me how much money they want, what they're using it for, and then I go through randomly, pick people, and then give them that money they requested, is actually a sinister tax write-off. There's
oh my gosh. I mean, for all we know, it could be, but I don't think that's what it is. Or I don't think that's what it was. I think in some sense there might have been some genuine, like, hey, I'm helping the community type spiel. But you have people that are fucking assholes.
There's actually a lot going on behind the scenes that make this a really bad thing.
Charlie would go on to express how painful the accusations were.
This actually hurts me. I recognize how lucky I got in life, and I just want to do something nice with it. And then to be
there you go
attacked, I suppose, by multiple people spamming that same kind of shit about how this guy super sucks, he's actually just doing this for a tax write-off, wake up sheep. It's infuriating.
And later disprove them.
You can Google this information, and within the first 4 results get the official response. Can you write off donations to individuals as some kind of charity tax deduction? The answer is a resounding fucking no. Gifts to individuals are not deductible. Only qualified organizations are eligible to receive tax-deductible contributions.
Even after Charlie clearly explained his situation, there were still those who were desperate to believe there was some malicious element to the stream giveaways. With a tweet reading, "He's 100% doing it for the tax write-off, and it's something that's dumb to even really deny." Looking back on the creators that tried to expose Charlie, one key theme becomes apparent. They did more harm to their own reputation than Charlie ever could, whether it be
I think that's an understatement, because you have every single one of these individuals, and it all I think ultimately it all stems from individuals who cannot take criticism. That had Charlie, with Charlie saying something that they didn't like, and then proceeding to react or overreact in a major way. At this point, every single one of them have basically dealt a hand on their own accounts. And unfortunately, you have individuals who, fail to see that.
Be the need to prolong controversy for views or desire to be right, these individuals unwittingly destroyed their careers, and all Charlie did was watch and laugh. Recently, Dr. Disrespect completely destroyed his entire reputation.
Okay, we'll have to watch that one at one point, but oh my gosh. So, long story short, because I'm going to say this is going to be a long video. I've put a lot of, there's been a couple times where I've repeated myself in certain things. But all in all, I mean, just to give this reaction, I think it goes without saying that all of this, all the drama, all the people that attacked Penguinz0, attacking Charlie, it all stems from people who unfortunately cannot take criticism. And honestly, I think that's one of the killers of a YouTube channel. Is you have individuals that get up there on the pedestal and they hear something that they don't like and they proceed to act or overact in a major way. So I think in the end, we all need to basically do better, be better, and in terms of what people say, take it at a grain of salt. If there's actual criticism where it could help you improve as a person or improve as a content creator, you can use it. You can either, listen or not listen. You don't have to freaking go out of your way to try to attack another person's channel or attack another person's personality. You really don't. But again, you have individuals that are so high up on the pedestal that if something is said, they don't want to listen, and they will just go on the attack. And if I can kind of repeat something I said earlier, is that fame at times is the killer of creativity. It really is. But anyway, I think for now I've definitely been at this video long enough. So thank you guys so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, it's all in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you guys next video.
You